think I prepare every day. I think, when you're president, you sort of see everything that they're going to be asking, and they may disagree with you, but we've done a great job. We created the greatest economy in history.
President Trump on his debate prep. Let's talk to his son right now. Donald Jr. joins us right now. Don, thanks a lot for joining us. What's a win tonight?
Listen, I think we got to talk about record. The reality is you do have to define Joe Biden. He's been a D.C. swamp creature for half a century, and yet no one I see in middle America can actually name a Joe Biden accomplishment. The reality is this: Donald Trump is getting us out of endless wars. We have to point that out. The positive things that Donald Trump does don't get attention in the mainstream media. Donald Trump is achieving peace in the Middle East. He grew the strongest economy America has ever known. What has Joe Biden done? George, we've had this conversation before. Look at what the media and the Democrats tried to do to me, but now we've seen what Hunter Biden is literally doing around the world, whether it's $1.5 billion from China, whether it's $3.5 million from a known associate of Vladimir Putin in Russia. Money that's tied to human trafficking and prostitution rings. Imagine the field day they would have with me. But that's the problem. We don't have an objective media. We have a media that's generally just going to go to bat for the other side. So I think we have to talk about Joe Biden's record. We have to talk about the things, the jobs that he's shipped to China. The fact that Hunter owns a part of a Chinese company that's literally shipping jobs out of Michigan to China today as we speak. So these are things that have to come up, because Joe Biden's been able to run as this sort of generic Democrat without a record, because when you actually look at his record, it's quite disastrous over the half a century he's been in D.C.
So you're going to try to make Joe Biden the issue tonight. Your father's going to try to make Joe Biden the issue tonight. Hunter Biden, we expect, would come up as well. But as you know, that New York Times report talks about foreign payments the president has gotten over the last 4 years, being in debt over $400 million. Some intelligence professionals calling that a national security risk.
I think that's ridiculous. I mean, anyone who's in real estate looks at leverage. Even the New York Times pointed out Trump Tower's worth is $500 million. If he has a $100 million mortgage on it, that's 20% leverage. Typical leverage would be 70 to 80%. That's not a risk. There's a reason for this. They don't talk about the $50 million in taxes paid through payroll taxes and other stuff from Donald Trump's businesses. So they take this snapshot where they can take the good, but they don't actually talk about the full picture. They don't talk about the truth. They don't talk about the jobs created in those businesses. The reality is this: if people have a problem with the tax code, talk to Joe Biden. He's the guy that's been legislating these things for 47 years. Joe Biden took advantage of loopholes in the payroll tax to do the same thing and to save $500,000 himself. That's what people do. If you have a problem, talk to the people who have been creating the American tax code for the last half a century, and that's Joe Biden.
The last tax bill that was passed by your father, signed into law by your father, and many have pointed out that his business has got benefits from that tax bill. But I have one final question. Was it a mistake to lower expectations for Joe Biden coming into this debate?
I don't know. You see, I'm not so worried about the 2 hours of a debate or a 90-minute debate. I'm worried about the other 22 hours of the day where Joe seems to struggle, where he's on a teleprompter. I mean, he hasn't had to campaign the same way. I mean, I know people, honestly, George, running for first-grade class president that have spent more time campaigning than Joe Biden has for president of the United States. He's been doing debate prep for the last 2 months. That's presumably what he's been doing when he doesn't have to be on the road. But again, when you have a mainstream media that he'll sort of let him get away with that, to not answer questions, that's difficult. So I think Joe Biden should do fine. He's been doing this for a very, very long time. This should be his happy place. So we'll see what happens. But, I don't know. I think my father's got to be my father, because that's what he is, and that's why he's delivering results rather than repeating the same mistakes of people who have been career politicians.